Otherwise, well, we might be down 1,000 crowns that we probably never get back.
Starting at last. A year down the road, I'll be plying Hortensia and my lads with tales of this night. Let's play.
Fingers crossed that you aren't actually all that good. So, we were talking about... I think that's pretty unlikely, though. We were talking about perhaps getting rid of... one of our torrential rains, because we are primarily a siege deck, so maybe throwing in a siege nerf is going to be more harm than it is good. Let's just look at all of our cards for a second here. See if there's anything else we want to put in place of that. Do we have enough cards, though? We might still have enough cards. So, for that reason... I mean, part of me wonders... On one hand, I don't really want to mess too much with the formula that we've used in the past, because that could be a risk that we mess up, because we'd start having to do things, or we use our usual strategies and it doesn't work as well as it normally would, or we have to change up our strategy a bit and we're not accustomed to the ins and outs of all that. So part of me feels like, hey, we have some extra heroes, could potentially throw those in. We were talking about in the past how maybe there is reason to not totally load up on all of your heroes, because you could find that since you can't double them, you can't bring them back using a medic, you can't decoy to bring them back into your hand, there are some reasons, some situations in which you would actually prefer to have normal units than heroes. Then again, heroes of course do start out with higher strength and are also immune to the debuffs that your opponent could use, so in terms of how that stuff balances out, do you just want to maximize the total number of heroes? Do you want to have some, but not all of them in your deck? We've usually gone for a bit of a balance there. Obviously, we have Roach and Esterat here, neither of whom are in our deck at the moment, but we have, I think it's 3 heroes who are. Ciri, Yennefer, and Philippa. So, I do wonder. If sneaking one of these other ones in might be beneficial to us. We could say, or maybe even take out someone who is not a hero. Someone who we feel is not great. Like, Dandelion can be great, because he doubles the melee row, but we just don't have a lot of melee cards. So, it seems like whenever we get him, there are so few cards for him to double that he's not doing much for us. So, strangely enough, I feel like we could consider getting rid of him. And we have plenty of Blue Stripes Commandos, and a couple of the Dragon Hunters here who get doubled when we have multiple of them. However, it doesn't happen too often, and the Siege Experts, oftentimes, if we draw enough Siege cards and we are also using our leader ability, then it can ultimately add up to make the Siege Experts decent, but it is a bit of a risk, because if we don't have that setup, then suddenly they are certainly our worst cards. So those are the, I would say, the weakest links at the moment, other than in terms of personal preference. Do you like having the other types of nerfs in there? And Clear Weathers could make the case that maybe those are not always great to have in. Let's try this here, though. I think we just take out, what was it, the Siege nerf, and that'll be it. Fingers crossed that this guy isn't absurdly good and just absolutely annihilates us. That'd be great if that didn't happen. We have a Decoy, we have a Scorch, we have Siggy. So I like this combo here. Oh, 2 of these guys as well. That's good as well. A little bit of hero action, that's nice. And then, I don't love having Death Mold here. And being our only ranged card means we don't have, well, other than Philippa, but her being a hero, she's not affected by anything that would be affecting the range row, so that's not really much of a factor. I'm thinking, let's try swapping you out. You do have 6 space strength, which is solid. Siege Expert, well, I don't think we have enough siege units to make you be beneficial. Finally, we swapped that out, and I think we got another siege card. We might have even got another catapult, and those do get doubled when we play 2 of those, so that's fantastic. Okay, so this is an interesting one. They go first. They lead with Dandelion. The Dandelion means that presumably they will be playing future melee cards in the hopes of doubling them. Remember, we have a Scorch here, so we want to be very careful of the order in which we play our cards, because we want to be making sure that we are scorching our opponents, not scorching ourselves. So I'm thinking we could immediately play this and get rid of Dandelion, but I think we might be able to do better than that. Of course, Dandelion himself is not that strong, But getting rid of him means that we are getting rid of our opponent's ability to double their melee row, which could be sort of like taking out the support on their bridge. You know, he is the keystone. It's once he's taken away, everything falls apart. So it is tempting in some ways. We don't know as for a fact as to how many melee cards our opponent will play. But the reason why I say this is because if we aren't to play the Scorch right now, I would be tempted to play Siggy, because then we are playing a stronger melee card. He would be the one who gets Scorched, and we would of course still benefit from drawing cards from playing a Spy. So it's a little bit of the best of both worlds. Drawing the cards and not having to worry about our opponent getting the extra strength from the Spy could also allow our opponent a little bit more time to play additional melee cards for us to see if we can Scorch them instead. So, I think we still do this now. I think we do. So that way we are getting rid of their ability to double the melee row in anticipation of them having the plans of playing a lot more melee cards, like say this one right here. Now these guys do double when you play multiple of them. So that does mean that, say, if you were to play another one here, they would double to 8, and a Scorch would have gotten rid of both of them, which is another reason why I wanted to make sure we played the Scorch early so we don't end up having to be at risk of doing that to ourselves, because that's something we might want to do in the near future. But I think now we go with Siggy. We'll have us draw another decoy and Yennefer. Ooh. Mysterious Health? What? Is a 0 strength spy. Interesting. You humans have unusual tastes. Okay. Don't know who this is supposed to be other than perhaps the person that supposedly was partnering with Ciri a while ago. But we can't steal him with a decoy. Unfortunately, that is one of the best things to do with your decoys, but since he's a hero, he's unaffected by that. So that kinda stinks. If we were to play one of these guys, then that does mean that we would be tied for the strongest units. If our opponent has a Scorch, they would remove 2 of their own, 1 of ours, so presumably they wouldn't want to do that yet. Then the question of, do we play our second one? We can base that on what our opponent plays next. And worst comes to worst, we have at least 1 medic that we can use to bring some people back. Right now we only have our Scorch in our graveyard, so we don't have anyone that we can bring back with Yennefer just yet. So let's try this. How does our opponent react? They decoy. They swipe our Spy. That is unfortunate. We would have liked to have been able to do that with the Spy that they played, but of course it is here, so we can't. So already it does look like this is a very strong deck that we have our opponent using here. So yes, I think we do certainly have reason to be concerned. So with that decoy, on one hand, you could say that that's a sign that they don't want to invest further in this round. On the other hand, you could say that it's just always a good play to decoy a Spy that your opponent plays. That way you can keep it for yourself, because Spies are so good. But basically, I say this because is that an indication that we should invest further in this round, or do we leave it here? If we were to pass, then our opponent would need to play 1 more card in order to beat us in round 1. So they would drop down to 8 cards, then they are also Northern Realms, so they would draw a card when they win the round, so we'd then be tied. Maybe that doesn't make much of a difference. What is your leader ability here? Destroy your enemy unit's strongest siege units if the combined strength of all his or her siege units is 10 or more. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That sounds like a hard counter for what we're using right now. I don't like the sound of that at all. So, okay. Okay. Perhaps reason to spread out our siege cards a bit? Or, ooh, tell you what? Wait, is that singular card, or is it cards plural? So what I'm thinking of is, ultimately, when we do play our siege cards, we are likely to want to play them in the same round, so that way we can have them all get doubled by our leader ability, which doubles the siege row. That means that these guys would be at 16, they double each other. Then once we use our leader ability, they get doubled again to 32, so we would absolutely be at the threshold at which our opponent can remove a siege card. But can you remove both of the catapults or just one? Units. We would remove both. The reason why I bring that up is we could, if it were just one that got destroyed, use Yennefer to bring it back, and then suddenly no problem at all. But yeah, if you're getting rid of both, we can't revive both, so that is still an issue. So we are a bit stuck here. don't know if we should be investing further or sticking to what we have at the moment and forcing our opponent to play another card if they want to win this round. I think we do play another card here. And if we do, then I think we do still go for this, and we anticipate that we will use Yennefer, bring it back in a future round. With just one of them, I'm thinking we, yes, only play one of them here. Don't play the second one, so that way we are not making it possible for our opponent to use their leader ability. They're using Yennefer. Who are you bringing back? Oh, you're bringing back Dandelion. Okay. So that was a bold strategy. And by that I mean it was good. I don't mean to suggest that was bad. That was good. It's just that it does mean they're playing pretty aggressively here. So perhaps because they're playing many of their best cards here in the first round, if we were to pass early or even decoy out and bring back one of our cards, then we could have enough strong cards remaining to take round 2 and hopefully 3. Problem with that is based on the assumption that they only have so many strong cards, which may not be an accurate assumption because this is presumably one of, if not the best Gwent player that we have gone up against thus far. So, as for what that means, it does mean that at least at the moment you also have an 8 strength card, so if we were to play this, we would have these guys get doubled to 8 apiece. Your guy here would be 8. If you do have a Scorch, you probably would still play it. That way, you know, you're moving 16 strength on our side, only 8 on your side. It's a little bit less of a risk because at least we're taking you down with us to a certain extent. But I do wonder if decoy is perhaps the way to go here. The only thing is we are anticipating that we will use Yennefer to bring back this catapult here, in which case, do we really need to use decoy? Perhaps it is still useful to get this guy back because he doubles himself when there's another one of these. So let's do it. We're basically going to end up passing immediately in this round here. They probably will realize that's what we're doing here. No, they're... Oh, the spy is... Yes, a good play. Though we could swipe the spy. Would mean we're using our last decoy. But I think that's probably worthwhile. That is the other best purpose for these decoys. Well, I mean, it's really probably a better purpose than what we used our first one for. Now, surely they will realize that we are not trying to win this round. No. What? How many spies do you have? That's absurd. I mean, yes, if I knew you were going to play that spy there, then I would have saved our other decoy for you. The problem is, we were deliberately planning around saving some of our best cards for future rounds and having better cards and card advantage for that. But with you playing numerous spies, suddenly you have 10 cards, and you are likely to win this round, meaning you will draw another card. So you'll go up to 11, we will be at 8. That is a huge advantage, and you could certainly take round 2 from us. So suddenly, our strategy has certainly backfired. I think here, we have to play our heroes. That way, we are immune to Scorches if our opponent does have those. We won't go with Yennefer yet. We'll lead off with probably Philippa first, because that would, well, potentially be a little bit of an overinvestment, because when we play her, we'd go up to 22. So our opponent might immediately pass. If they do, I think I'll take it. Ciri would be a significant overinvestment, potentially. Do they pass here? They do not. Siege Tower. I've never seen this card. Is it just a 6 strength Siege Row card? That it is. So, the reason why I wanted to do this was to make sure that we would not be having additional cards that are scorchable. But that is perhaps no longer a major concern. If we were to play another Siege card, though, that means that suddenly we would have 10 strength or more in our Siege row. That means we would be able to remove our strongest Siege card. It would end up being you. Then we could use Yennefer to bring it back. It looks like round 1 is going to end up being the biggest round, either way. So, I think that is basically becoming unavoidable. Let's play this. It is likely you will use your leader ability next. Then we will use Yennefer to bring back the catapult. Then we will double, perhaps. No. You're throwing more in the siege row as well. You only have a 1 strength lead right now, which is surprising to me. Feels like you've played much better cards than we have. I think that's largely because of Philippa here. I'm tempted to play Siggy. We don't know. You may have more decoys. You seem to have a ton of spies and at least 1 decoy, heroes as well. So I don't want to play this card. If we do that, then you can get rid of both of them with your leader ability, and then we can't bring them both back with Yennefer. We can only bring back 1. So I think I gotta leave something future rounds. We play you, and then we maybe play the second one, depending on how this goes. Obviously, we used a decoy to bring this guy back before, so I don't love it. Okay, there's the leader ability we were expecting. That is to be, yes, expected. Then we will bring it back with Yennefer. Do we need to? Or can we just wait? Do we instead go for this? Maybe we do. This would mean that, yes, the concern before was perhaps we would be Scorchable. It would give us 2 8-strength cards, meaning that we would lose 16 strength total. Our opponent would lose 8, so they probably would opt to Scorch. But maybe that's... if that does happen, that is our signal that we will pass at that point. It does give us a somewhat sizable lead here. There it is. Yup. As expected, they have a very, very good deck. We are still only down by 1, which is dangerous. That's dangerous. It's tempting me to go further, but I mean, with 4 cards here, we are certainly at risk of not having enough cards to win future rounds. Our opponent has 7, so they do not have anywhere near the same amount of risk as we have in that regard. We could play Siggy here, get 2 more cards in the process. The problem with that is that if our opponent has decoy, then they're going to turn around, steal them, and then our would have been card advantage, or at least the slightly more cards we would have gained from it, they're going to turn around and do it themselves. So let's try it, but they may throw this one right back at us. Another medic, that is good. You have a decoy. You don't. You have a relatively weak card. I am probably fine with you playing that, because you didn't necessarily need to win this round. If we were to pass, you could say that that was perhaps an overinvestment of sorts. It does, however, mean that they would draw 1 more card, because they would win this round here. So that would mean we'd be at 7-5 in round 2, which would be difficult to come back from that. We do have 2 medics, which means we can play an additional card from either of them. And just look at who that means we could bring back. Ooh, we could bring back both of these guys. Or the catapult. No, I think the catapult is still better, because it also doubles these units here. They double each other when we play them both, and they're higher base strength, so they're just better. So, I'm thinking we pass, and then next round what we're going to do is we're going to play a combination of the catapult, and then the medic to bring back the other catapults, and we hope that's enough. We may also need to tack on our leader ability on top of that. We hope that's a pretty efficient round. Doesn't take too many cards to get a lot of points there. And then that leads us to you, and you, round 3, and then we draw 1 more card, assuming we win round 2. So we'd be top decking that one. We, of course, don't know what we'd get there. Hoping that's enough. Because otherwise, this guy's deck just seems better than ours. So, presumably, they will pass here unless they have other spies to play or things of that sort. Okay. So they draw another card. We knew that was going to happen. They go first. What do they play? Okay, well, that's a lot of strength there. Yeah, this is not looking great for us. Yes, like I said, it was inefficient setup we were looking at before. I'm wondering, do we go with Yennefer or do we go with the Dunbanner Medic? I was thinking we go with the Dunbanner Medic, because I am anticipating that we will use our leader ability, doubling the siege row. And you are a siege unit that is not a hero, so you will get doubled. Yeah, I think we do it. You, into you. Then, of course, the Scorch would get rid of this catapult one more time. So they pass. Okay, that is... Oh, they still have a lead. Okay, I mean, I was anticipating that we would still play one more card anyway. The question here is, do we play this? And, I mean, it would double the 2 catapults, turning them both into 16s. We would have way more than we need. The problem with that is that that means that we would still have our leader ability remaining, and we'd have no siege cards to double with that leader ability. So that means we are basically losing what is one of our most valuable assets. So I think for that reason, we actually use our leader ability here to double the siege row, or... No, we play you. We play you on the assumption that the 1 card that we dropped or winning this round will not be another one of the Dragon Hunters. So you are just 5 strength, you're 10 strength if we draw another one of you. So that is, yeah. That is the least investment to win this round, whereas playing this means that we are losing 8 strength. Using our leader ability means we are losing 8 strength, assuming that we would be able to double this guy here. So, yeah, we go this route. Then we pass. We'll draw 1 card. We are still at a card disadvantage here, for sure. But we will draw 1 card, bring us to 4, 4 to 6. We have 1 hero that has the ability to bring someone back from our discard pile because they're a medic. We have our leader ability, so if you add those 2 together, then in a way you could argue that is functionally as if we have 6 cards right now. We did also, ooh, we drew a siege card. That is key, because we do absolutely want to double our siege row now. Oh, we could use our, hold on. Use Yennefer, her medic ability, bring back Zunbanner Medic. Zunbanner Medic is a medic. She brings back the Catapult. Catapult is a siege unit that gets doubled. Gunbanner is a siege unit that gets doubled. Catapult doubles the other Catapult when we play it, so yeah, I like that. I think that's a very good combination. Let's lead off with Ciri, because she's a hero, so she's unscorchable in case our opponent is thinking about using one of those. Well, you might have had similar thoughts. Hopefully our combo is a little bit better than yours. We have spies in our graveyard that we would theoretically consider bringing back with our medic. We could. I did really like the combo we were saying we could potentially use. Drawing additional cards is also quite intriguing, because look at the difference we have in terms of the number of cards we have versus the number of cards they have. I think we just need to go with all-out strength, though. We know that the strategy we're just saying should be quite effective. We don't necessarily know if drawing additional cards by bringing back our spy would give us as much of a benefit, so I think we still go this route. And fingers crossed that our opponent doesn't have a counter for this in one way, shape, or form. So we do 1 medic into another medic into the, not you, Catapult. Now we have a lot of strength down here quickly. We just hope you don't play Forfeit or something. Ooh, Geralt. We have not seen a Geralt card before. How dare you play us? How dare you play us against us? So now I think we do this next. Although we absolutely will want to play the Catapult. If our opponent has a Scorch, then of course they're going to want to Scorch or they will Scorch our strongest units, and the heroes, of course, aren't affected by that. So right now the Scorch target would be Catapult, and by playing another Catapult, we would make 2 Catapults, the Scorch targets, and we would lose them getting doubled, so that's pretty bad. In this case, we'd only lose 1 of them if we were to Scorch here. You have Philippa, who's of course also quite strong. But of course, at some point in time, we have to make our move. And our opponent has more cards than us, so they can play the patient game. We cannot. We need to make our move here. And we hope you don't Scorch, otherwise we are absolutely toast. You have it? You do. We're toast. That is pretty much game here. Well, hold on. Hold on. We still have 37. We still have our leader ability. The hope was we would double our siege row with those catapults, and then we would be very high on the strength. But this would still do something. You have a siege nerf that could certainly stop us. You might just have enough cards to outpower us with your 4 remaining cards here. That depends. Catapult is strong. I'm thinking they probably... Yeah, they have it. They have it. That'll do it. That's the combo we were looking for. Catapults and then double it with our leader ability would have put us probably over 100, but we are already out. So does that mean we are 1,000 gold coins down, and then we're just immediately eliminated from the tournament? Probably. I was like, what? How could this have happened to me?
So, how did you fare in the first round?
Not well.
Tournament's over for me, I'm afraid.
Not necessarily. I have a proposition for you. Shall we discuss it upstairs? Lovely view from the terrace.
Sure. I'm interested. Let's see. This might be the part where the fighting comes in. Meet Sasha on the balcony. Win your match against Bernard Toll. Yeah, you know, that one didn't go terribly well for us. Right, that was far and away, yes, for sure, the best player we've ever gone against. So I do wonder if maybe this is one of those quests that it would have actually been preferable for us to have waited until we actually had gone to entirely different areas, come back here once we've gotten all the possible cards you can get, and just ignore the fact that this happens to be in Novigrad here. Okay. And not do it at the same time as all our other Novigrad quests. So, what's the deal, Sasha?
Alone at last.
Okay.
What did you want to talk about?
A cartload of coin. That's the grand prize, you know. I can't speak for you, but I'd prefer it didn't land in the wrong hands.
Okay.
And luck can be so undependable. Frankly, one should simply take the coin, subtly, you know, without bothering the others.
So you're saying this is all a plan for you to steal the coins. You entered the tournament, yes, but that was... You're the one who's pulling the tricks here. Okay.
As propositions go, this is not exactly what I was expecting. You don't seem like a...
Thief? True, it's not my day job. Which is why I could use some help.
Okay, so that's where we come in?
Why tell me?
I'm a woman. I'm in need of that coin. And Geralt of Rivia would never abandon a woman in need. Or so I heard.
Who do you hear it from?
Angela Vigo. She told me of your adventures in Beauclair. Apparently you're dependable. So long as the cause is just.
Yeah, stealing. Cause is just, debatable, but we did just lose 1,000 coins, so, you know, you do have my interest. It doesn't seem like a just cause to me. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean. It is definitely not a just cause, by any means. But, I mean, at a certain point, 1,000 crowns is 1,000 crowns.
Fine. Let's say I help you.
I'll split the coin with you, of course.
What's the plan?
And it's actually 9,000 crowns with the total reward.
I shall tell you the rest when the time comes.
All sounds pretty mysterious, but fine.
Excellent. Now that's settled, let's rejoin the others.
Okay. This is presumably the final round. Oh, between them. Okay.
Congratulations, madame. A superb match. Did you expect to be victorious, my lady?
Perhaps.
Yes,
you could
I
say.
had a good feeling about the tournament.
Luck.
Thief! The coin's gone. The guard's been stabbed.
What?
How is this possible? No one's removed the coin from the premises.
I swear.
All those leaving was searched.
Phew! We must scour the building. Anyone leaving must pass inspection.
Uh-oh. I mean, if you won, you didn't actually need to steal it. Of course, you maybe didn't know in advance you were going to win, but...
Before you ask, it wasn't me.
Figured as much.
You promised to help me. I say we try to recover the coin together.
So someone else did it, you say? Is that so? Rather not get involved, sorry. Yeah, sure.
Agreed. Where do we start?
We must get upstairs. Wait.
Hello.
I say, this Witcher is Captain Hansen's good friend. He could examine the crime scene. Charge only a trifling.
A fee? But
We will, of course, collect it from the captain personally. How is his injury from the other week? Has it healed yet?
well, I'd heard it had.
Splendid. We shall go upstairs at once.
Right, we shall. You don't have a say in the matter. Also, she's going in the opposite direction. Yeah, so you know what? Apparently we don't have to be the ones to steal anyway, so that's totally fine. We definitely weren't gonna do it anyway. I definitely wasn't saying we were about to steal all those coins. What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, somebody's dead. Probably should have seen that one coming. It's probably the guy who was running this event.
Next time we see the captain, milady, I'd appreciate you mentioning.
That is all, good fellow. You may go. The Witcher requires absolute silence while he works.
Exactly.
Of course.
Alright, do explain.
That went well. Really know the captain?
Yes, a horrid man. Come now, get to work.
Oh. Yeah, that didn't end well. Okay. Investigate the crime scene using our Witcher senses. Sure thing.
Blows delivered from a strange angle. Expert, though. Precise.
Someone sneaking up behind him, maybe? That does seem like could perhaps suggest an assassin. Oh, okay, well that's obviously something. I do think we've been up here before, so I'm not sure there's much for us to loot, and therefore we'll just focus on the quest stuff.
Towards the terrace.
Oh, so obviously we head out here, right? Do we? Someone like throw them off the terrace? Well, there is something to examine here. Oh, that's ignite. Okay. I take it back? Question mark? Wait, does the terrace wrap around this way? No? Hold on. Something else we're missing here. What is it? Gotta be something in the bathtub. I'm afraid not. Had to check. Had to be certain. Had to be certain. Jumping on the bed. This is all too familiar. Like we're having deja vu. Something back here? I think so, but maybe? Or, I mean, the circle does technically go out here. No, we're not even allowed to head out there. Okay. It must be out there, right? I mean, the quest indicator was pointing us in this direction. I just immediately see where, if anywhere, it may have been that we wanted to examine things. Should I be looking up? Should I be looking back? This wall? Where is this? What are we looking for? Investigate the crime scene using your Witcher senses. Yes. I'm not seeing much. Sasha, what do you have to say? You don't have to say anything. You don't have anything to say. Where's the thing we're looking for? I mean, I don't think this has ever happened to us before. I mean, I suspect that I'm just being blind right now and not seeing the thing that I'm supposed to find, but really, not seeing anything highlighted in red, not seeing anything that seems to say examine. And there is, oh, here we go, here we go.
Crossbow bolt. A line tied to it. Line's clearly been cut.
Thief might have used it to lower the sack of coin. He'd need an accomplice waiting down below to grab it.
Something down there, but I can't make it out. Must have been one of the players. Lowered the coin down on the line, then strolled past the guards.
This was well prepared. Think you can track the culprit down?
Don't know yet. Ought to look in the street, see if I can find anything there.
Okay.
Come
Check the
on.
clues behind the properly using the Witcher senses. Okay. Yeah, so for a second I was thinking maybe the game has bugged out and just not shown up at all and we need to reset. It's happened with other things, but never having quest items not show up. That's never been an issue before, so I'd be surprised if that was the case, fortunately. It was not. So we're looking back in this direction. Is Sasha still following us? It appears not. You. Wealthy townsmen? Explain yourself.
This
All of
weather
you.
makes me downright melancholy.
Okay, so controller is vibrating. You throw stuff in the fountain? No, but there's this here.
Same as the one tied to the bolt. Gonna have to look around.
Oh, Sasha just teleported down here with us?
Where's that scent coming from? Cinnamon. Strange.
Huh?
I don't smell a thing.
Sasha? I don't yet trust you. This could all be an elaborate ruse in which you are ultimately the person behind it, or at least more involved in it than you would like us to believe. Maybe not the person who was the one who was doing all this crossbow stuff, but I wonder if this is going to end in us getting trapped in some way, shape, or form. What is this?
Haste makes waste. Culprit lost this grade. Must have fallen off the wagon.
Can you be certain this was the thieves?
Smells the same way.
Crossbow under the packages. Itching to crack a pun about every rosemary having its...
I appreciate you resisting the impulse. I've seen this guild mark. It's a trading company's. One that imports spices from Zerrikania. They have a
Okay.
storehouse at the docks. Northernmost one on this side of the port. Shall I meet you there?
Sounds good.
I know some frown upon you, but to me, you're a hero.
Thank you, random person. There we get some experience from that. Sure. Okay. Then you're saying we're supposed to go over here. Okay, there are not really any fast travel locations over there. So I think we might just be walking that. I think we probably are. So that means this way. Okay. And yeah, that fast travel location is not really going to do us any good. So I'm hoping that... Oh, well, every time I pass these, I'm like, do we loot this? There's probably some guards somewhere who would be very angry at us. Yeah, like this guy here, if we were to do so. So let's pass on that one. Still have not gotten the chance to go into that shop. At some point in time, I'm assuming that will be possible. But yeah, this one is taking some turns, this quest here. I was sort of expecting it to be, well, yes, a tournament, and a difficult tournament at that, so I suppose in that way, things did sort of end up going the way I thought it would, and I did expect there to be some kind of twist, but with it being some sort of combat in this quest here, but didn't expect some elaborate plot to steal the reward. Oh, what's this? Another quest of sorts?
Grey hair, come here.
Alright,
What is it?
let
We've
me
got a problem,
hear you out.
Master. Mate of ours got injured, and we can't seem to find him.
Poor lad could bleed to death.
You tracked many a monster. Would you sniff our friend out as well? I'm willing to pay.
Sure. I mean, this talk about things that sound like a setup. This absolutely sounds like a setup for us to get ambushed and mugged.
Why not? Short delay won't hurt.
Lead the way, Master Witcher. Quick as you can, though. Poor lad needs help.
Need some
Absolutely.
kind of lead first. Any clues?
Yeah, he ran. Toward the port. Came out of the sewers.
Totally legit, right?
Sewers. Should be an easy scent to follow.
Okay. Novigrad Close City number 2. Huh? I guess we had one of those previously? I'm guessing this is probably similar. Wait, what level is this? Novigrad Close City 2. Here. Oh, doesn't even have a level tied to it? I was gonna say, for a second I thought it was probably going to be pretty high level, because this seems to perhaps be directly affiliated with the one that we are currently in the midst of doing. Assuming this is the right scent that we're following right now. Correct one. Where did this go? Oh, examine?
Blueprints. Traces of sewer slime.
Okay. Now that sends us in this direction. Gotcha.
You go bald.
Okay. That's something.
Lots of fuss
Or this stuff over
lots of rain.
here?
Blood. Fresh.
Yikes. Okay. Here? Or the same? Girl didn't have much to say about it. Yeah, it's blood. But there's this scented stuff over here. Well, hold on. It's leading us to this door here? That's locked. Looks like it stopped. Here? Leading us over here. There are still some things that are lootable. Over here? Is anyone getting out of this? I don't think so. More.
What are you bothering him, you grub?
It doesn't really want to let us take that, and it seems like it's not terribly valuable, so we'll just keep on moving here. And it seems like it's supposed to go in this direction, though. Okay, here we go. Here's something more. Kind of lost the trail for a second there, but back on it now. Over here. Okay. We've been to this area before. We may have.
Gotcha, Halson.
That was 5 stone of the purest fist tech you put to the torch. Do you know what it was worth?
All right, Witchman. Take your coin. Bugger off.
Okay, so it's some kind of drug trade. And what? Somebody initially didn't pay up, and you basically just wanted us to track them down for you so that you could get your money back. So now we have the question of, okay, we tracked them down for you. Are we just going to let them forcibly take the money off of him? Or are we going to try to reinforce the peace and say, don't touch him, and then presumably by reinforcing the peace, we are going to make it more violent? If we do this, then we probably end up fighting the bandits. If we do this, then the witch hunter probably dies. Bandits die, witch hunter dies. Bandit dies, witch hunter dies. Bandits?
Leave him alone.
Wonder of wonders. A witcher defending a mage hunter. Next we'll have mice sticking up for cats.
I'm not joking.
Ain't ya? Fine, we'll talk serious then.
And by talk serious, I mean we'll fight each other. Yep. Okay, you're level 14 bandits, which is something. Not pushovers, per se. That is, unless we just absolutely annihilate all. Oh, you're not. Did you just kill yourself?
I didn't expect help from the likes of you.
Shouldn't be so quick to judge, maybe. A lesson your colleagues could use, too.
Listen, I've lost much blood. I need a medic to patch me up. Quickly. Will you help?
Sure.
You hunters sure are polite when you need something.
That's true.
Fine. Do you a favor. Against my better judgment. Give me your hand.
Yes, obviously the witch hunters have done some pretty bad things, generally speaking.